Good morning, Form 5. Now we are going to start by taking Unit 2, which is called Equations. Lesson 1 is called Mathematical Expressions. The mathematical expressions has two kinds of expressions. If we have, for example, 3 plus 5 equal 8, this expression in math, written in math, contains operations, which is plus, minus, times, divided, as we see, and numbers. So we call it numerical expression. The second type of expressions, where we have operations, which is plus, minus, times, divided, and we have numbers and we have symbols. Symbols means for you letters, and this is what we are going to go in. What is going to happen in this unit? He's going to give you an English sentence, and we are going to translate it into symbolic expressions, expression containing operations, numbers, symbols, which are letters, and the equal sign. To translate, we need to know the keywords because he's gonna give me English. The first keywords for operations. If he tells me plus, add, sum, more than, increased by, exceed, that means the operation is plus. If he tells me subtract, difference, less than, decreased by, minus, the operation means minus. If he tells me multiply or product or times, that means the operation will be times. If he tells me divide or quotient, the operation means divide. Look, Form 5, I know that most of you know most of these words, but please, if you don't know a word, please study it. The second keyword is for the equal sign. He can bring me in this unit or in this lesson a problem that has an equal sign, and he can bring me a problem that doesn't have an equal sign. So we must take care of the words which will tell us that this problem will have an equal sign, which are the word equal, of course, means equal. The result means equal. Produces means equal. Produces means equal. Now we need to know very important things. Number one, the very most important thing in this unit, that the multiplication operation will disappear. What is the meaning of that? For example, 3 times x. What happened here is we have a number, fraction, decimal, whatever, multiplied by a letter, which is a symbol. If you have a number multiplied by a letter, so the rule of multiplication will be that the multiplication sign will disappear and the number written in math must be written the first and the letter will be the second after it directly. So 3 times x means 3x. Half of x means half times x means half x. 0.5y means 0.5 times y. Okay, and it's written 0.5y. Okay, this is very important. The second thing to know is the word twice of x or double of x. Twice and double of x means 2 times x. These two words means 2 times x. And the multiplication in this lesson, as we said, will disappear, where we must write the number written in math first, 2, and the letter after it, and the multiplication will disappear, which is 2x. Okay? The fourth thing to remember is the rules of perimeter and area. Whenever I see the word perimeter or the word area in a sentence, that means that there is a rule must be written. Let's revise the perimeters. The perimeter of square and rhombus is 4 times side, where the side is equal to perimeter divided 4. Rectangle parallelo, 2 times length plus width, and length plus width is between brackets. But we must study the rule of length. Length is perimeter over 2 minus width, and the rule of width, which is perimeter over 2 minus length. The perimeter of the triangle, if it's an equilateral triangle, so the perimeter will be 3 times side length, where we have a magic triangle or magic home, so the side length will be perimeter divided 3, so we can cheat the side length. The perimeter of any triangle or any figure in the world, we go back to the meaning of perimeter. Perimeter is plus, 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 plus for the side lengths, means sum of the side lengths. Okay? Area of rectangle, length times width. All the geometry rules, we can find it here. Okay? Now, before we translate, we must see the exceptions when we translate. When we translate from English into math, normally we translate the first number will be the first and the second number will be the second. But we have some exceptions. We translate in order of the numbers except with these 4 words. Study them very well. The first one, add number to a number. When he said add 2, for example, add x to 7, the number that comes after 2, which is the second number you see by your eyes, you are going to write it the first. You are exchanging places with add 2. So 7 will be the first and x will be the second. Now we exchange places, so add 2 is an exception word where we don't go in the order of the numbers that he gave me in the problem. We exchange places. The first will be the second and the second will be the first. We have also subtract a number from a number. The number written after from will be the first and the number written before from will be the second. For example, subtract 2 from y. Subtract means minus. You write minus and then the number after from, we are going to write it the first, so it will be y the first, and the number before from will be the second, so it will be y minus 2. We have 2 more exception words, more than and less than. The number written after than, you are going to write it in your answer the first. Let's start. 9 more than x. More than means plus. This is the first thing to do. When we translate, you write the operation first. More than means plus. And then we have an exception word here called more than, where the number after than is written the first in your answer, x, and the number before more than will be written the second. So here we don't go by order, okay? With what? With add to, subtract from, more than, and less than. Let's see the example of less than. Y less than 5. The first thing, the operation. Less than means minus. Write it here the first. And then the number after than, we write it the first. And the number before less than, we write it the second. So it will be 5 minus y. So whenever we see these words, we exchange places of the numbers when we write them, okay? We didn't see them, don't exchange. We saw the exception words, we make this exception. This exception means what you see the second, write it the first, and what you see the first, write it the second. If we didn't see these words, so we don't have any exception. So when we don't have any exception, we translate by order, okay? Let's start form 5. In the school book, page 27, complete using a suitable symbolic expression. Number A, add 6 to the number x. The symbolic expression means a mathematical expression where we have letters, which is called symbols. The first thing to translate is the operation. Your eyes is on the operation first. Add means plus. And then the second thing to do, go to the 2 numbers that you have. We have here 6 and we have here the number x, so it's x. Why do we go to them? Because if they are not prepared, if they are written in English, we must write them in math first. The third thing to do is to see if you have an exception word, so exchange places. If you don't have exception words, don't exchange places. Now, we have an exception word called add to. So the second number, I'm going to write it the first, and the first number, I'm going to write it the second. So it's x plus 6. So add 6 to the number x, it will be x plus 6. Number B, subtract 3 from the number y. Don't do everything in one turn, please. First, the operation. Subtract mean minus, write it in the middle. Go to the 2 numbers and write them in math if they are not ready. 3 is written in math. From what? From the number y, so it's y, written in math. The third thing is to put the numbers in their order. Let's see if we have an exception word. Subtract 3 from. Subtract from is an exception word, where the number written after from will be the first, y will be the first in your answer, and 3 will be the second. Number C, multiply 5 by the number z. Multiplication has one rule. Multiply 5 by z or multiply z by 5, it will always be 5 because it's the number, and z, it's the letter written after it, where The multiplication operation will disappear. It will always be 5z. Number D, divide the number m by 3. Divide, the operation means divide. Then division, I didn't speak about division. Why? Because it has no exception. Division, we write it in order. What he wrote first, we write it first. What he wrote second, we write it second. Okay? And there is no exception word. Okay? So it will be m divided 3, where we can write it m over 3, because m divided 3 means m over 3. Okay? Now, the other page, page 28, number 1. Complete the following table as the example. He solved for us the example. We're going to solve number A. It's so easy. We have the letter here, or the symbol called y. He said add 3 to y. So it will be y plus 3. Subtract 7 from y. So it will be y minus 7. Multiply by 3. So it will be 3y. Divide by 4 means y divided 4, or y over 4. Number B, look at one of the answers. You will know the symbol, which is the letter. So the letter here is Z. And then add 3 to Z. The number after 2 will be written the first, as we said, Z plus 3. Subtract 7 from Z. The number after 2 will be written the first, so it will be Z minus 7. Multiply by 3, 3Z directly. Divide Z by 4, so it will be Z over 4, or Z divided 4. Number C, let's see any answer and take our letter. The letter here is L, and then continue. Add 3 to L. Add 2 is an exception, where what he said first will be the second. Look, add 3 to L. So it is L plus 3. Subtract 7 from L, so it will be L minus 7, because subtract from is an exception. What he said first, you are going to write it the last thing, and what he said second will be the first thing. Multiplication, as we said, has a rule in this unit. Multiply by 3, it will always be the number first and the letter second. Okay? Divide L by 4, it is written L over 4. Division goes in order. Number 2, concentrate here. For example, add 3 to the double of the number x, it will be 2x plus 3. Let's explain it. The first thing to write is the operation, plus in the middle. And then, second thing to do, go to the two numbers that you have. We have 3 here, written in Math and Ready, and the number after 2 is called double of the number x. This number is not ready. Why? Because it's written in English. Take care, this is not x. This is double of the number x. Twice, and double means 2 times. So double of the number x means 2 times x. So this number is not ready. You must make it ready. Double of the number x means 2 times x. We write it 2x. Now the two numbers are ready. The third thing to do is to take them and put them in order. See which one are we going to write the first and which one we are going to write the second. How do we know this? Look at the sentence. If you have an exception word, so you are going to exchange. If you don't have an exception word, you are going to write in order. Okay. Add 3 to. Add 2, exception word, where you are going to exchange. The number that you saw the second, you are going to translate it the first. 2x will be the first, and the number you saw first will be written the second. So it will be 2x plus 3. Example number A. Subtract 5 from the double of the number y. Please read carefully. This is not y. The first thing to do, the operation subtract means minus. The second thing to do, prepare your numbers if they are not ready. The first number is 5 written in math. The second number is double of the number y. Double of the number y means 2y. The third thing to do is take them and put them. When we put them, we must know which one will we put the first. So we go back to the sentence. If we have an exception word, we are going to make the exception and exchange places. If we don't have, we are going to go by order. Let's see. Subtract 5 from. Subtract from is an exception. Let's revise the exception words. Add to, subtract from, more than, and less than. Okay? So subtract from is an exception where the number after from, which is the second that we see, we are going to write first, and the number before from, which he wrote the first, we are going to write the second. Number B. Add 7 to 3 times of the number z. First operation means add. Add something to something. Let's prepare our numbers. The first number is 7. The second number is 3 times z. 3 times z is not prepared. It is 3z. So the second thing is to prepare our numbers. And the third thing is to put them in their places. Do we have an exception? Yes. Add 2 is an exception where the second number we write it the first in our translation, and the first number we write it the second, so it's 3z plus 7. Number C. Subtract 3 from the half of the number x. Subtract means minus. He solved half of it for you. Subtract means minus, the first thing, the operation. And then the two numbers, 3 is written in math. The second number is half of the number x. This is written in English. This is not prepared. So we need to prepare it. Half of the number x, it is written like this. Half x. Half of the number x means half times x, and written half x because the multiplication operation disappears. And then the order, of course he solved it, but let's do it alone. Subtract from is an exception word where the second number is written the first, as you see, and the first number will be written the second. Number D. Add 6 to 1/3 of the number z. Add means plus. Prepare your two numbers if they are not prepared. 6 is written in math. The second number, to who? 1/3 of the number z. 1/3 means 1/3. 1/3 of the number z means 1/3 times z means 1/3 z. So now I prepared my numbers. Now it's the last thing to do, put them in their order. Do we have an exception word? Yes, add 2 is an exception word. The second you are going to write it the first, third z, and the first you are going to write it the second. So it will be 1/3z plus 6. From number 3 we are going to see different problems where we are going to speak about each problem alone. Number A, complete. Saeed has X pounds and his father gave him 8. How much will Saeed have? Look, Form 5, we are not going to solve any problem in Unit 2 in Lesson 1. In Lesson 1, we are not solving anything. All what we are going to do is to express this in a mathematical expression. Write this in a mathematical expression. Saeed has X pounds now. He had X pounds. His father came in and gave him 8 pounds. What will happen to the money? It will increase. Increase by what sign? Plus, right? If you have X pounds, so you are going to write X first. This what he had first. And then his father gave him 8, so it will be X plus 8. Why X plus 8? Because his money is increased by 8 pounds. So it will be X plus 8. Number B. The length of a rectangle is 3 centimeters more than its width. Let the length be L, then the width will be how many centimeters? Wait. He said the length of the rectangle and the width of the rectangle. Of course, most of you went to the rules of geometry and started to see the rule of the length and the rule of the width. No, this is not area or perimeter. We are not going to solve by geometry rules, by area and perimeter rules, unless we see him wrote in this sentence the word area or the word perimeter. You must see them in the sentence. If he didn't write area or perimeter, so we are not in rules. This is a problem where the length is more than the width, and this is normal. The rectangle, it is always the length is more than the width. We can't solve it by rules. Why? Because he didn't tell me the width, I'm going to cheat it from the area or the perimeter. He didn't say. So the rules, geometry rules, we are going to solve them when we see the word area or the word perimeter in the sentence. Okay? So now we are not in the geometry rules. Okay, how to solve it? The length of a rectangle, it is normal to be more than the width, right? So the width will be what? It is so easy. If I I'm greater than you or more than you, greater than you by 3 years. So you speak about yourself. You are smaller than me by the same 3 years. How? Like this. If the length of a rectangle is 3 more than its width, we write it like this. The length of a rectangle is. This is the sense of it is equal. The length is 3 more than its width. The number that comes after then is written the first, so it will be width plus 3. If the length is equal to width plus 3, so look back what I'm going to do. So the width, exchange the letters. Width is equal, exchange the letters. Width will be length. And exchange the operation. Minus 3. So here I translated the length and translated the width. If the length is greater than the width by 3, then the width is less than the length by 3. If I am greater than you by 10 years, you are smaller than me by the same 10 years. The difference is in the operation and who is speaking, okay? It is so easy. I translated both of them. What does he want? He wants the width. So we are going to put this in the answer. Width is length minus 3. The second page. C. The sum of what Manal and Nihal have is 10. If Manal has X pounds, then Nihal will have what? No, don't hesitate. What you are going to do, the most important thing to do while you are translating, go to the first thing that we translate, which is the key word of the operation. Where is the key word of the operation? Sum. What shall I do now? Take all of this sentence that has the key word of the operation from its beginning till the end. The end can be a comma, can be a full stop, can be an and translate it first. The sum of what Manal and Nihal have is 10. That means that Manal plus Nihal, what they had, is 10, means equal 10. Translate this first and then continue. I'm not going to say it again. This is very important. We translated it in math as we can, and then we are going to continue. If Manal has X pounds, so we are going to remove Manal and write X. And write this again. Then Nihal will have what? So we are going to do like this and the question mark. He wants the symbolic expression that will express how to bring what is with Nihal. When we look like this, he wants this. What is the equation or what is the symbolic expression that will bring this? If we look at it, it is a missing number problem. And it is solved like this. Plus will go after the problem by its inverse or opposite. Plus its opposite is minus. And it will take the number beside it, it will be after it. So the answer will be 10 minus x. So Nihal will have 10 minus x. We solved like this. Let's solve number 4. A. If we subtract 5 from who? From the number x. Subtract means minus. Prepare your numbers, 5, and it's the number x, which is x. Okay? The third thing, who's the first? Subtract from is an exception. We are going to exchange places. It will be x minus 5. Number B. Suzanne saved X pounds and her father gave her 10. Then she will have what? X first. What she had first. This is logic. Gave her means the money will increase, means plus 10. X plus 10. We're going to choose this one. Number C. Subtracting 3 from double of the number x. Subtracting means minus. Prepare your numbers. This is 3. And the second number, double of the number x. We must prepare it. It is 2x. Double of the number x means 2 times x. And it is written 2x. Which one is the first? Subtract from is an exception word where we exchange places in our answers. 2x will be the first because he wrote it the second. And 3 will be the second because he wrote it the first. So it will be 2x minus 3. Number D. The difference of two numbers is 7 and the smaller number is y. Then the greater number will be, and I don't understand anything, Miss Yasmin says, When you don't understand anything, go to the keyword of the operation and translate its sentence. Difference is the keyword of the operation. Hold the sentence from the beginning till its end, which is the comma. Translate this first. The difference of two numbers is 7. We had two numbers. We made minus because difference means minus. The minus of two numbers is 7, means equal 7. Then continue. And the smaller number is y. Look, in minus problems, we always start by the greater before the minus, and we write the smaller after the minus. He said that the smaller number is y, so the smaller number is written after the minus. Then the greater number is what? So we make the question mark here. We now translated everything, and we want the rule or the mathematical expression that brings us this question mark. This is a missing number problem where we are going to solve it like this. We have take care in the minus problems, because sometimes you take the minus in the other side and exchange it to its inverse, and sometimes you solve it as it is. Okay? Here we said when the problem is division or minus and the missing is in the middle, we don't change anything. But now the missing is not in the middle, the missing is in the first, so we are going to change everything. The minus will go there to be plus, and it will take the number written beside it after it. So it will be 7 plus y. Here we look in the choices. We didn't find 7 plus y. Why? Because in plus it doesn't differ. 7 plus y is y plus 7, so we are going to choose this one. Number 5, I'm going to leave it for you homework. Number 6. The perimeter of a square whose side length is L. Yes, now here we saw the word perimeter. That means that he needs a rule in math. Okay? Which rule does he want? He wants the rule of perimeter. The perimeter of a square, we write the rule first, 4 times side length. And then he said that the side length is L. It is called L. So we are going to write it again and exchange the name of side length, as he said, to L. So it is 4 times L. In Unit 2, we learned something. When we are multiplying a number by a letter, the number is written first, so the operation can disappear, and the letter is written after it, so the answer will be 4L. Number B, the perimeter of a rectangle is 20. Here we need a rule. If its length is x centimeter, then its width is what? He said perimeter, and he wants the rule of the width from the perimeter of the rectangle. Perimeter of rectangle, 2 times length plus width. We don't have a magic triangle to help us, so we must study the rule of the width. The width of the rectangle is perimeter over 2 minus length. Now, remove perimeter and put 20. So up we have 20 over 2 minus length. Remove length and write x. So it will be minus x. We will not leave it like this. When you have a piece of a problem that can be solved by a calculator, solve it. 20 over 2 means 20 divided 2, it will be 10 minus x. And we can't solve more than this. So the answer is 10 minus x. Number C, the length of two adjacent sides. Adjacent sides means beside each other. Of a parallelogram is x and y. Then its perimeter. What does he want? He wants the perimeter of the parallelogram. The rule is like the rule of the rectangle. 2 times, open brackets, length plus width. Now we are going to write it as we want in Unit 2. Exchange everything by its names or numbers, and like this. Multiplication sign will disappear because it disappears in this lesson. So the number is written first, and then we open brackets. The length, we can call it x. And the width, we can call it y. And this is the answer. 2 brackets x plus y. Number D. If the sum of two numbers is 10 and one of them is x, then the other is what? What did we say in these problems? We go to the sentence that has the keyword of the operation, translate it from its beginning till the end, till here, till 10. The sum of two numbers is 10 means that I had two numbers. The sum means plus, and the sum of them, which is the answer of the plus, is 10. One of them is x. He didn't tell you which one because the answer will not differ if you put it here it will be the same answer, and if you put it here, it will be the same answer. I'm going to put it here. Then the other is what? So what here is the second number. This is the question mark. I want to write the symbolic expression that will give me this number. This is a missing number. The plus is always after the problem with its inverse or the opposite sign, which is minus, and takes the number beside it. It will be the last. The answer will be 10 minus x. Thank you, Form 5, for watching. Wait for another video. Bye-bye.